Portland, right across from the federal courthouse. So this is the federal courthouse, and this is the Portland Justice Center. So the high likelihood there's going to be some protests down here tonight. There's a few people gathered, and since this is the place where protesters gather, and what ends up happening is that the predatory media is here. So, you know, these are the people who will be taking pictures of protesters later tonight and then collaborating with police to build federal cases against protesters. That's part of how they earn their living, is by providing information directly to the cops. And it's a two-way street. Not only do they directly provide information to the cops, they also work with the cops to repeat police lies. So, you know, predatory media, they actually boost police lies, repeat police lies, emphasize police lies without actually fact-checking things. So, you know, when it later is exposed that lies were told by the media, these are the people who were like, oops, I'm sorry, we didn't do our job. We failed at fact-checking. We published things that weren't true because of sensationalism. And basically what ends up happening is they hire off-duty law enforcement to carry guns. That's what this guy is in the white shirt. He's their gunman. So, you know, when you see the national news crew around, they have gunmen in their crew. Guy in the white shirt, he's their gunman. You can tell, just look at him. Same thing with this other guy. Guy in the black shirt and the blue jeans, he's their gunman. He's got a gas mask on him. These guys are gunmen. So what happens is the predatory media repeats police lies, and they bring gunmen with them to protests. In case they need to murder somebody, they have gunmen with them. So, you know, they already identified me as a potential threat just because I identified them as gunmen. You know, that's the kind of mentality that these private security goons have, is that if you identify them as private security goons, they identify you as a threat. But anyway, you know, there's a big difference between free speech and corporate speech. What I'm engaging in is free speech. What these goons engage in, they engage in corporate speech. Not everyone has the capability of free speech. Some people, all they're good for is corporate speech. They're basically bootlickers to corporations. And as much as I hate to put it in those terms, corporate bootlickers, it's not a good look. Whether you're a bootlicker for CBS or whether you're a bootlicker for OPB, being a corporate bootlicker is a bad look on everybody, especially when you collaborate with police. If you take photos of people who are engaging in free speech actions and it leads to jail time, that's a bad look for journalists. That's a bad look for journalists. But, you know, I don't expect you guys to care or differentiate between free speech and corporate speech, but there's a big difference between free speech and corporate speech. And I can differentiate. Corporate speech is actually a threat to freedom. Corporate speech doesn't enhance freedom at all. Corporate speech enhances boardrooms, makes people, especially wealthy white older men in editorial boardrooms, it makes them more wealthy. So guys like this, they make money for their corporate overlords. Their corporate overlords deprive us of actual honest reporting. They prevent us from seeing what's actually happening in the world by narrowing their lens and repeating police lies. And they do it with gunmen. So, you know, they come down here with guys with guns to reinforce police lies, and they think of themselves as being freedom fighters and people who stand for free speech. You don't stand for free speech when you come down here with guys with guns. You don't. You do not stand for free speech when you bring gunmen to a protest. You brought gunmen to a protest. That's not free speech. That's the opposite of free speech. That dude is an obvious gunman, and that dude is a gunman.